know that I'm deeply grateful to you for reading my postings these past 3 years and for sticking with me through my frequent meanderings and digressions. Despite my abiding respect for the strict conventions of newspaper writing, I've come to derive deep satisfaction and enjoyment from maintaining this blog, where word limits don't matter, where impartiality is besides the point, and where I may freely indulge in conjecture, parentheticals, and serial commas. For obvious reasons, I hope this won't be my last post. But if it is, it is. I'm 81, a ripe age by any measure. I suppose that no age ever feels old enough, but with my daily cigarettes, a habit I picked up almost 70 years ago, and with the exception of my own tomatoes, the take-out menu diet of a lifelong bachelor, I know I'm lucky to have made it this far. I don't regret never marrying or having children. If I had met the right woman and passed up the opportunity to spend my life with her, I'd feel different. Maybe it was the long hours on the job, or maybe it was my comically long nose. Regardless of the cause of my lived-alone life, the fortuitous effect is that my departure, when it happens, will be met with the sadness of quite a few, but the genuine grief of none. Was I married to my work? This cliché might be true. If so, I ask that you don't pity the relationship. It was a strong marriage. I have loved being a newspaper man, publisher and editor, and above all, reporter. I can recall no better feeling than those moments when I was enthralled to a story that finally snapped together. The facts, and my particular way of telling them. Better than striking oil, I tell you. What a shame that this time-honored industry is rapidly vanishing and becoming overrun by ideologues and illiterates. Our democracy requires better. But this is a problem for younger minds than mine to solve. The title of today's post alludes, of course, to the unattainable object of Captain Ahab's obsession. This morning, a young male nurse entered my hospital room to check my vitals and the wounds in my chest and leg. I had bypass graft surgery on Wednesday morning. I asked this nurse what day it was, and he said Friday, September 22nd. I told him that today was the 15-year anniversary of the Miller killings. The what? He asked. I was taken aback, though I shouldn't have been. The young man would have been a child when the murders took place. Still, Silver Bay is a peaceful town, even today, and the crime had been a major story in the news for weeks. I told him so. I guess maybe it sounds a little familiar, he said, having the sense to be kind to his loony, dying patients. Faithful readers of this blog know that the Miller case is my white whale. In all the years I have lived in this town, there have been only 5 homicides. One man dialed 911 himself within hours and turned himself in. 3 times the men, they were all men, were booked within a couple of weeks and pled guilty to lighten their sentences. Ramsey Miller is the only accused who got away. I live, just one neighborhood away from where the Millers once did, and I was on the scene that morning, only minutes after hearing the blaring of the first response vehicles. I drove my car the few blocks to Blossom Drive and witnessed the aftermath of a terrible event, one that I've never fully been able to get past. It shook us all. A couple of days after, I remember ordering my cup of coffee and plate of eggs at the Good Times diner, same as every morning, and the waitress, Tracy Strickland, who always wore a Kiss My Bass pin on her waitress uniform, sat in the booth across from me, placed her elbows on the table, cupped her head in her hands, and wept. She was about Allison's age. I didn't pry. But you see, Silver Bay is a small community, and Allison Miller was the sort of woman you couldn't help admiring, and Meg was a girl just shy of 3 who deserved to grow